than what you have become. Remember who you are. Remember.
You've been asking for it. It is finally back. Self-respecting men who love Disney. Got a really great guest with me here in studio. Really fun story on how we met. And you want to make sure you stick around because he's got a really cool journey coming up. We're going to get to hear the start of it. In a few weeks, we'll hear the end of it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hang out with us.
Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom.
We've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Oh, you're in for a real treat.
What's up and welcome to Mouse Series of Magic, episode number 101. I'm James. For some reason, the camera has went all pixelated on me. But, of course, there is no Sarah today. She is not a self-respecting man who loves Disney. So she does not join us for this. Brian is actually out of town right now, so he couldn't join. But I do have my very special guest today. You see him here if you're watching us live or catching the replay. I'm going to try to get it cleared up for you. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, and I meant to ask you before we started because I didn't want to butcher your last name, Steven.
Give it a shot.
No.
LoFaso.
LoFaso. I don't like Mufasa.
That's it.
I'm digging it.
I actually had soccer players growing up call me Mufasa, so
Really?
it would not be new.
That is kind of cool. I don't hate that at all.
I embrace it.
Yeah. Anytime you can be compared to Mufasa, it's kind of hard to beat that. Hard to beat that. Sarah Thurgood is hanging out with us. She's one of our amazing Patreon members, Samantha Lowe, aka the Stream Hopper. She bounces around from every YouTube stream that is going on all day long. Like you see her in every single chat. It's impressive, honestly. So let's just go ahead and kind of get into it because we've already said that we're going to talk until we just can't talk anymore. You said that'll probably be 6 o'clock tomorrow.
Yep.
So let's start getting into it because even just the way we met is really interesting. Because Sarah and I were sitting outside. You walked by with your dog, your German Shepherd, which, most of y'all know by now, we have a German Shepherd named Elias, which is Walt's middle name. We started talking to him about his dog and asked him what the dog's name was.
Chewbacca, big fan, so I had to name my dog Chewbacca.
Yes. So that then sparked, so you're a Star Wars fan. Have you been to Galaxy's Edge? We sat out there for well over 2 hours. It never ended.
Yep, definitely got to text my wife. Hey, you're walking the dog. Where are you?
Right? No kidding. This is really throwing me off. If you look up here in the corners, it's showing that we're not even there. That is really weird.
2 Draxes.
Yeah, this it's not October just yet. How are we, Ghost? But anyways, so yeah, we kind of talked about your Disney story and then talked about podcasting and talked about the really cool thing you've got coming up in a week?
Next Tuesday.
Yeah. So we're going to get to that a little later on. And Garth is here. What's up, gents? So Garth was actually our first self-respecting man who loved Disney.
Yes.
And I don't know if I've told you the story about how we got self-respecting men who love Disney. But in case you're new to the show and you don't know, so Sarah was talking to her mom one day. It was shortly after we got back from our last trip. And her mom just finally goes, what kind of self-respecting man loves Disney as much as your husband? Instead of being offended or, like, oh, I can't believe she said that. No, I just ran with it. Said, I'm going to show her. So we've had blue collar guys on. We've had police officers, like, and we're going to keep going. But it's been a lot of fun. And it is a hit episode usually where people want to hear the men's side of Disney because Disney is stereotypically little girls and, women and yeah, no, it doesn't work like that though. We're taking over. So go ahead and take it away. Tell us your Disney story. When did you get started into Disney? Was it movies? Was it family vacations? Just take it away.
Well, thankfully, I was born into it.
Mhm.
So I have a sister that's 18 years older than me. And when she was, I want to say around 12, my parents said, everybody goes to the beach or the mountains. Let's try something new.
Right.
So when she was 12, they decided to go hunting for new things to do and new ideas. And my dad stumbled upon Disney. And that from there changed his life. He never turned back. Since she was 12, he has been to Disney World every year, if not once, twice, because he loves it that much. So growing up, it was, I got to take my next daughter. I got to take my son, Steven. We're going. This is our yearly trip. And that's how it turned into. So I could not be at all disappointed.
So how old were you when you first went?
Oh, I was probably 6 months.
Oh, wow. So no,
Yes.
you don't remember that. I was going to say, do you remember
No.
your first trip? But no, you don't.
Yeah, I had to double check, but my dad verified. He said, "Oh yes, you went," because I had a sister that's 2 years older than me, and the one that was 18 years older than me. So
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. 6 months. Wow. And Sarah says, she says, I think my dad might be the old OG self-respecting man who loves Disney. He was always singing Sherman Brothers songs. Yes. Yes. The Sherman Brothers is, yeah. If you're not a dad that is walking around singing the Sherman Brothers, like, do you even Disney?
Right.
Because they've got so many classics. But yeah. Anyway, so what is the earliest trip that you do remember?
It's difficult to say because I remember flashes here and there of, oh, look, I'm on the People Mover, or I'm riding rides that's no longer there anymore,
Right.
like Cranium Command, things like that. Gosh. But I want to say the last serious memory I have, I was probably 7 years old, and we were walking around Magic Kingdom, and Push hasn't been around for a while, but he is a trash can.
Yes.
That talks and interacts with the people.
Mhm.
And I, as a 7-year-old, I am, whoa, it's like meeting Mickey for the first time. You don't know how to take it in. So I'm sitting there watching it, and there's a crowd of people, and he's talking, hey, where are you from? My name's Push. Oh, you got a cup, throw it away. I can help you out. And I got lost because I'm sitting here doing this, and my parents walked away.
Oh no.
Because I just kind of scrolled off to the side, and they had no idea. So my mom's calling my name in the background, and she's like, Steven. And I'm sitting here listening to this trash can because 110% of my focus is on it. Next thing you know, Push, Steven, your mom's calling you. And I'm like, he said my name.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is great that a trash can actually helped you get found.
Yes.
I guarantee you there's not many people who can say that.
Oh, yeah. That was an interaction I'll never forget. And that's the very first one I actually remember in detail.
Right.
Oh, too amazing.
That's awesome. That is awesome. So what are some of your favorites then? I mean, let's start with this. Let's rank the parks.
All right. So if I had to rank the parks, see, this is tough because I almost feel sometimes, and I'm sure you might feel on the same page, that you have a little bit of Disney blood in you, like you're a part of Walt.
Right.
So there's some biases that happen because it's a small world, and Carousel of Progress are like his babies, or the fact that he loved trains.
Right.
So it's hard to stray away from making Magic Kingdom your number one.
Yeah, not really.
For me, it is. And I guess me and my dad relate to that because I guess we've been so many times. We spend so much time at Magic Kingdom, which would probably be our number one. We don't even have to do the attractions anymore. Give us a turkey leg, sit us down in Adventureland or on Main Street, and
just taking the sights, sound, smells. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So I would probably put Magic Kingdom at 1, and Epcot for the longest time because I enjoyed the culture. I enjoyed the idea of being able to speak to people from different countries without actually having to go to Japan and learn a new language, things like that. For the longest time was 2, but Galaxy's Edge, That's a beast of a different variety.
We're going to get into that a little more later.
Yes. So that's my number 2 now, though.
Okay.
With the addition of Toy Story Land and Galaxy's Edge, Hollywood Studios has jumped up to number 2, then Epcot, and then Animal Kingdom last.
See, for me, it's Hollywood, Magic, Animal Kingdom, Epcot.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, Animal Kingdom could probably even. No, it wouldn't jump Magic, but it would compete a lot more if it wasn't for Dino Land, and dang, that horrible ride.
Super jerky.
Dude, I hate that ride so much. Freaking hate it. It nearly kills us every time. And I think you've heard this story, but Jameson said last September he wanted to ride it again. He rode it his first trip, did not ride it the second one. He said, I want to try it again. I want to give it a try. He cried. He screamed. We get off, and he runs up to Sarah, and he's like, Mommy, I wanted to like it. I really, really wanted to like it. But, yeah, no. Dinosaurs a no-go for us. But and Garth, who's actually going to be on next week, he's a Disneyland guy. And he thinks, a lot of people think it should transfer over to Indiana Jones because it's basically the same ride out in Disneyland, just themed to Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't hate that at all, but we'll see.
Yeah.
They got to do something with Dinosaur. All right. So, I don't want to get to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and all right now because we might have some arguments. I used to really enjoy, like, I do enjoy Star Wars Land, Galaxy's Edge. But Dana, who is the host of the Run Eat Drink podcast, him and his wife Amy, they're Patreons of our shows. He made some very good points that we'll get to that might change your mind a little bit. So if you follow us on Instagram, then you saw our stories today. Because I was like, a lot of times we have guests on who are podcasters or who have YouTube channels or, are out there, but like you're kind of new to the podcasting. So a lot of people hadn't found you yet. They don't know you yet. And I posted a clip and I want to talk about your favorite character. But for those of you who didn't see it, this is the kind of guy we've got right now.
Ah. Gosh.
That might be one of the top. Garth just changed. He said he thinks that Dinosaur should be an Onward ride.
Ooh.
I don't hate that either.
Would be all right.
Yeah. A lot of people say Zootopia, but I feel like that would just be too easy. I want to get creative with it. All right. So Goofy is obviously your favorite Disney character.
Yep.
What is it about Goofy? Like the impression, the hat. I told Sarah, I was like, I swear, if he comes in here wearing that, I'm kicking him out.
I debated it.
I figured you would. I figured you would. So, but what is it about Goofy? Old Dippy Dog.
I love the innocence he carries around with him. So, I mean, he obviously makes mistake after mistake after mistake. Like, oops, didn't mean to do that.
Right.
Destroys things, but it's always innocence. And then, of course, a Goofy movie helps as well. So, Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Daisy like to kind of bring the magic when they do their stage shows and stuff like that. But Goofy he wants to make sure that he is his own person. He doesn't try to fix his mistakes. He just, look, I'm going to be me.
Yeah.
And then when you have a Goofy movie, nothing but compassion, nothing but love. He makes all these mistakes. He's like, Max, I want you to know I love you, Max.
Yeah. Yeah. He definitely, he does his best to be an incredible dad. Does a great job of it. I do want to know more about the whole mom situation. Like, we have no story there. What happened?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's not even talked about enough for people to even know who he married.
Right. Like, we know nothing about Max's mom at all.
Besides, she's a cow.
Do we know she's a cow?
I've done a little bit of research.
Because that wouldn't...
It's not on my mind, but I've done a little bit of research, and I think he married one of the cows from one of the original cartoons.
So that would be Clarabelle.
Max, yes. I think that was Goofy's wife.
But
I could be wrong. Don't chalk that down. But it's been several years since I've had to have a conversation with somebody about it. So I looked it up.
Hold on. No.
Myself.
No, let's think about this, right? So Disney's usually pretty good about, keeping things in line and all.
Mm-hmm.
A cow and a dog.
Yeah.
And you get a dog. Like, how does that work?
So many questions.
How does that work? Please explain. A cow and a dog, and you get a dog. That does not match.
It doesn't. But there's little things here and there, like Goofy can walk on 2 legs, Pluto cannot, even though they're both dogs. So I mean,
Walt has went into details about that. Though.
Yeah, not so much about Goofy and his.
Yeah. He hadn't. That's. I don't know. I'd like to know what the chat thinks about that. Did Goofy marry Clarabelle? Is Clarabelle Max's mom?
And I'll say this. I think the only way.
Garth says, so you're saying her milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. That is perfect.
Gosh.
That is perfect.
I honestly think at this point, the only person that could tell is Walt himself.
I don't know, because, well, you think about it, Goofy movie came long after Walt.
Yeah, true.
So, I don't know. That's
so many questions.
So confusing. But anyways, let's kind of try to get back on track here, because we can go down a long rabbit trail with that. But I mean, you think about, like, Clarabelle's in all the cavalcades, the parades and all at the parks. Like,
why keep her around if she's not?
She's in Mickey and the Roaster Racers. Like,
if she's not of that importance to somebody, why is
she's alive? We need answers, Disney. I mean, just make a short on it, put it on Disney Plus for us. Like, just give us something, because that's really going to bother me now.
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Katie B's popping in from work. Hey, Katie. Yeah, that's you've got me messed up now. You made me think about it. Now I got to figure out how to get back on track. So, since we're talking about Goofy, you brought up a Goofy's movie. There's this whole thing about Rock and Roller Coaster, right? I don't know if you've heard this news. Universal now apparently controls the fate of Rock and Roller Coaster, which we love. One of the greats over in
music lovers,
in Hollywood Studios. So
just so you know what's rocking here, Rock and Roller
a lot of people are saying that if Universal goes ahead and pulls the cord and we can't have Aerosmith anymore, a lot of people are wanting Goof Troop. The Goofy movie. And I gotta find a soundbite. So Derek, Satisfactual Sign Co, the guy that makes these signs, he just popped in. He says it to scare me. He's going to Halloween Horror Nights, but really he just wanted to hear this. That's the only reason he popped in. He loves hearing that soundbite. And Derek, he is wearing a Splash Mountain shirt. So yeah, old school Splash Mountain shirt. So anyways, yeah, a lot of them. I'm drawing a blank. What's the Power Line? Isn't that the band, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
A lot of people are wanting the Power Line, but I'm
waiting for that soundtrack to drop. Still,
like
I want 15 songs of Power Line.
I don't think that would fly, man. In Rock and Roller Coaster,
I think it would.
Do you?
Yes.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Like,
and I mean, and usually, you know how Disney does great about taking the rides and trying to compare it to experience in the movies of something that happens.
Right.
I mean, they could probably just take the scene where Max is trying to do his little stage and he gets lifted up.
Yeah.
He's in the auditorium with his classmates. I mean, they could. I think they could wing it.
Yeah. I'm not a fan, dude. Like, I love the Aerosmith. Like, I'm hoping Universal doesn't take it. But I'm sure they will, because obviously,
yeah,
we can go down that whole Marvel rabbit trail too. About how Universal won't let us have it.
Maybe it could be a trade-off. Take it. We'll take Marvel.
They're never going to give up Marvel.
No, probably not.
I mean,
not for one attraction like that. I'm sure.
Garth has an incredible point. He says Chapek will love it. It won't cost anything. I don't know your feelings on Chapek, Bob Chapek, CEO. We're not the biggest of fans. We want to see him succeed, but we're not. Yeah,
questionable at times. I'll say that and leave it at that.
Yeah, very much so. It's kind of like, so I posted on Instagram. I got to show you this. And for those of you who are listening, watching, you can see this on Instagram. So Muppets Vision 3D at Hollywood Studios get the new Lightning Lane sign for the Genie service. I got the picture of it, put a quote on there. It says, "I'm going to pay for a service so I can skip the line for Muppets," said nobody ever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't think I've ever waited for the Muppets.
Like, who's going to pay to skip that line? Come on, like, what? No. I mean, obviously, you're not going to pay extra. That's going to be in the Genie Plus service. That I don't remember how much you pay per day, but anyways, all of that's going to be really interesting to see play out. But it's all about that money.
Absolutely.
But yeah. So where were we? We were talking about Marvel and a Marvel Aerosmith trade-off. Do you really think that would happen?
Absolutely not. I mean, I'm sure Universal knows what kind of gold mine they're sitting on, especially to give something like that to Disney after they're making the movies.
That's the thing. Like Universal, they've got the characters, they've got the rides, and they're letting Disney roll out all of this great content for Marvel, and they're just sitting back banking off of it. Because I mean, if you want to see Spider-Man and all that, you're either going to Disneyland or you're going to Universal in Orlando. And
yeah,
it's a lot cheaper for us to go to Universal.
Accurate.
Although I would love to, and which again, Garth, who's going to be on with us next week, he's been to Avengers Campus, so we're going to get to learn.
Can't wait to listen to that.
Learn more about that, get his experience on it. I'm excited about that because I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. But Garth is one of those guys, as you can see by the comment about Chapek. He's a straight shooter, so
yeah,
it's going to be a fun show. Get a lot of good information out of it. But anyways, it's still throwing me off that we're ghosts up there in the corner. Why? But yeah. So since we went Marvel, you're a Marvel guy. You do a podcast with two buddies from work. Yep. You knew this was going to come up. Come on, dude. And oh my gosh. Talks of the people?
Yep.
Yeah.
Talks for the people.
Talks for the people. Yes. I always want to say talks of the people. For the people. Makes more sense. So y'all did a bracket. Let's talk about this bracket.
I would like to start off by saying I'm ashamed of it, but there's 3 people, including myself, in our podcast where we did a bracket breaking down. Are we talking about the movies or the
hero?
The hero show
themselves,
off.
yes.
Yeah. Each Marvel character facing off against another one. And I'm completely ashamed because we decided to do this bracket, and 2 out of the 3 of us did not have any clue about all of the characters. So everybody knows who Hulk is and everybody knows who Iron Man is, but they are completely oblivious of who Scarlet Witch is.
Well, they know who she was.
But Disney did great with the movies, but for characters like Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Scarlet Witch, did not do them justice to show their true might, their true power. Because when you have things like Black Widow beating Captain Marvel 1v1 fight, you're questioning life.
So, and I want to talk about this. So that was one of the matchups: Black Widow versus Captain Marvel. And they's like, hands down. One of them literally said, hands down, Black Widow would win. No competition. And I was listening while I was driving. I was at work and I almost wrecked. I was like, what? Like, I'm yelling, because I was like, have you ever even, and I blew the comment section up on that YouTube video.
Gosh, and I highly recommend anybody else to get in there and tell those other two how stupid they are. Because I mean, no offense to them, but they didn't know enough about it to talk about it. And when they started spitting out answers, I was like, guys, we can't do this. And the way we did it is, even if there was a disagreement, since there's three of us, the two that agree more than the one,
right?
That was the answer that moved on in the bracket. And I was like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
It's like, just guys, can we stop recording right now? Like, let's just call this one a wrap. Let's figure something else to do for this week.
Totally ashamed.
Because Black Widow beating Captain Marvel, I'm like,
it's absolutely absurd.
Did you even? I mean, you don't even have to watch the movie Captain Marvel. Just watch the end of Endgame, where she took down Thanos' entire.
Well, and while we were having that discussion before we officially made the answer, I told him, I was like, y'all are aware that Captain Marvel is the equivalent of the Superman in the Marvel universe, right? So, I mean, you're talking about an assassin with no superpowers, no abilities to do anything special besides do flips and shoot guns,
right?
Against somebody who
I mean, she's bad.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just read an article recently that apparently she has some type of augmentation done to her when she was in school to be an assassin. So she actually has a longer lifespan than most because of some of that stuff she went through, but she's
not anymore. Black Widow does not have a lifespan at all anymore. But so they and then the other one that got me was Iron Man and Wanda.
Yeah. And that was another one. I was like, guys, you do realize, and I made the comparison from Scarlet Witch to Magneto. And I know they're not comparable, but I'm like, you know how Magneto controls metal.
Right.
I was like, Wanda can do that with everything. It doesn't have to be metal. It could be plastic. It could be metal. It could be human skin. She could fold him like a Coke can with her two fingers, like kids do with people's heads.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, you can't, no, there's no way he wins.
And I really can't wait to see where they go next with her.
Yeah.
I mean, they left us with that end credit scene at the end of WandaVision where she's in that, little shack and she's,
And she officially went from, drawing a blank. She's officially identified herself as the Scarlet Witch.
Yes. Yeah. And Sebastian, when she's usually in here, he was telling me that originally, so all the commercials that they did in WandaVision, Doctor Strange was supposed to be in the commercials trying to reach her, but it was too much mansplaining. He was supposed to be there in that big end scene,
kind of leading up to Multiverse of Madness.
Yes,
the Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah. But they pulled him out. They took all that out, and it's like, why? That would have been incredible. I would have loved to see that.
Absolutely. I love it when the little things cross over and you get to see him while it works out.
Yeah. So, where was I about to go? Because, I mean, we've just kind of went all over now. We get away from the parts, which is perfectly fine. All right. We've talked about WandaVision. You've seen Falcon and Winter Soldier. You've seen Loki.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those three series, rank them.
All right. So, Falcon Winter Soldier left a bitter taste in my mouth the way it ended. They took a direction that I wasn't.
Went way too political for me.
Okay, yeah. We try to keep politics out of our podcast just because we don't know how other people feel about them.
That's truth, right? I mean, it went political no matter what your views are. It went political.
But I do love the character turning into how Falcon turned into Captain America. Loved it. I mean, I loved his character the entire show. It's just the way it ended left a bitter taste in my mouth. So that would be the least of them.
Yep.
So if I had to start from bottom to top, Falcon Winter Soldier is the last, WandaVision second, and Loki is first.
Loki's so good, dude.
Oh man, Loki. And I explained to somebody, WandaVision in like the first half was like, it was hard to get through as it was building the story. Loki took off from the start.
Yes.
Boom. Just an explosion of what's going on here. We got to find out what's going on here. What's next? You were on the edge of your seat from the second that show started.
and then we got to look into our future where we know that there's going to be this Category 5 hurricane rolled through Mobile, Alabama that's going to take us out.
Yep.
So there we go. we know what our fate is. Yeah. I saw that and I was like, oh my goodness.
They had to use here, didn't they?
Yeah. Because I looked it up. What was it? Heavenly Hills or something like that they, they use the town name as, which doesn't exist in Alabama. But in Mobile, there is a Heavenly Hills plant of some sort, a factory type place. And the week that it came out was the week, like a few days before that hurricane rolled through.
Well, and it doesn't help. They're right next to New Orleans, who is constantly getting slammed by hurricanes.
Yeah. Which we're not even going to get into that on here. I was about to say, like, why would you build a city underwater? Like, that still makes no sense. But all right, so let's go ahead. Let's get into Star Wars because you're a huge Star Wars fan. What is it about Star Wars? Is it the new? Is it the old?
So I think my favorite thing about Star Wars isn't necessarily the new or the old, because I show more appreciation for the old.
Okay.
And of course, a lot of the Galaxy's Edge kind of gears more towards the old because you see
Right.
more Rey and Kylo
No,
Ren.
it gears to the new.
Oh, I mean, I say old. I mean the original 3 movies that came out: A New Hope, and the original 3 that opened up.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Which that would have been Princess Leia and Luke and all, right? So
yes, but
Rey
we're seeing
and
more
all's
of
in
Rey
there.
and
Right.
Kylo Ren and
Right.
stuff like that. I
Mhm.
mean, I know in order they come, but the older characters wise.
Okay.
But for me, and just the same thing that Disney for me always does has the ability to put me in the middle of it.
Mhm.
Favorite vehicle of any mythical show, Battlestar Galactica and Star
Millennium
Trek.
Falcon.
Oh, easy.
Come on, hands down.
If that
Yeah.
not the baddest vehicle
Right.
to ever roam the galaxy.
Yeah.
So the ability to stand right in front of it and just be wowed and amazed at,
Yeah.
I'm going to be in that. And I get to sit at the table where Chewbacca is about to tear C-3PO's arm.
Yes. Yes.
Because he's beating him in chess. It's like all of that right there is the reason I enjoy it so much. The first time I got to see it, it's 4:30 in the morning because the parks were opening so early,
Right.
To try and get people in so they could see it. And they were doing loading bays just like Rise of the Resistance to even get in it.
Right.
So if you weren't one of the first ones in it, you had to do a loading bay. So I was in it, and I'm just the biggest bug-eyed ever. It took me back to when I was 7, and Push was telling me my mom was looking for me. I was. This place is absolutely, because you watch the movies where Anakin's building his first pod racer,
Right.
or the Watto has his shop that he's building droids out of and stuff like that. Just things like that, and it gave me that vibe of. And then y'all spoke about it several times in your podcast before about the sounds that they insert into the area. You can hear, and you're like, okay, is somebody landing here?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. And then if you're sitting on one of the benches and all, like, it'll actually vibrate.
Yes.
Like as there's a ship flying over. It's crazy.
So that's really what pulls it in. If they added 2 more attractions and made it like a 4 attraction area, oh my gosh, that's probably heaven for me. But that feeling it gives me to make me feel like I'm on another planet, they did a fantastic job.
So as a Star Wars fan, does it bug you that they went with this? Obviously they're all made up, but this made up planet, like that's not even in the Star Wars galaxy, right? Like they made up Batu for this and wrote a book about it. Like, why not go with Tatooine?
I think that they probably dodged a bigger bullet from the people who were kind of upset about that by doing this. Because if you imagine them doing a Tatooine just based off the movies per se, how about the people who've read the books? If they go in there and they're like, this is nothing like Tatooine from the books, or hey, that's not very Tatooine-like from the movies, or they have nothing to compare it to. So it gives people the ability to open their imagination up and see, well, there's got to be more planets than just Tatooine or just Naboo or something like that. So
Right.
I actually enjoy it.
Okay.
Because you have comparisons to places like Tatooine, but at the same time, it doesn't force people to one perspective of, well, this is what Tatooine is supposed to look like. Why doesn't it look like that? Now, of course, they do a great job of taking scenes and throwing it at you, like without missing a detail. So
they wouldn't have had a problem replicating Tatooine though, because you know what Tatooine is supposed to look like.
Yeah,
I mean, it's already been done, right?
Press play, press stop. All right,
right. Yeah. You know, honestly, I don't hate Batu, the Black Spires. I think it's, you know, really neat stories.
Yeah.
How, you know, everybody working in Batu, you know, they come from, you know, these different areas. They all have their own backstories. It's really cool. I don't hate it either. I know a lot of the Star Wars, you know, lovers. Yeah, nuts. There we go.
Nuts.
They really hate the Batu situation. They wanted Tatooine or something like that. I feel like they did miss the mark with Rise. Rise could have been better. To me, like that first time we wrote it, it's like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. You write it the second time, it's like,
yeah,
like it's still good, right? But it's not that mind blowing.
Doesn't give you that wow every time.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I wish that there would have been kind of a crossover period, like the fact that we don't have Darth Vader at all.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that's killer to me. Because let's be honest, Kylo. I mean, really.
Well, I have been heard that he is considered a Disney princess. So,
I mean, seriously, like, you know, there's like, for one, is he even a bad guy? Is he even a villain? Right?
Yeah,
like
they chose a character that's torn between both instead of, I mean, an actual Sith Lord.
Which I know, you know, there at the end, you know, when Vader dies, like, there's that whole, you know,
yeah.
But still, I feel like things would have been much better with Vader. I like Kylo. I think it's a great interaction.
Yep.
Rey is cool, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree.
Imagine
100%.
if instead of Rey and Kylo, and then there's this V or Y character,
yeah,
that you rarely see. What if you had Luke, Hans, Leia, Vader, Obi-Wan, Yoda, and then even with that time period, you got Mando, you got Boba Fett.
They did miss that by a long shot, because having those characters, and over time those characters' stories developed so much better, in my opinion. I mean, the relationship of Luke fighting Darth Vader, especially after he finds out he's his father, having to be torn, like, do I save the galaxy or do I kill my own father? Like, what's going on with this? And then you have Rey and Kylo. It's like, well, they talk to each other through telekinesis once, I think, or whatever.
Like, are they in love?
I don't get it.
Like, Rey is Palpatine's granddaughter? What's happening here? It was,
And then if you want to instill a villain onto somebody like Darth Vader, I mean, Darth Vader has been built. I mean, even Kylo Ren through the movies is talking about how this is my idol. Darth Vader is the best that ever did it. You know, if you're trying to add that extra just intense factor to a ride, use the boss. Don't use a peon. Use the boss.
No kidding. No kidding. And another thing that I think they missed, and you know, if you've been listening to the show for a while, Sebastian's here. Good job, buddy. He's going to be ready to sound off on once he figures out what we're talking about. He's going to sound off. You know, we were supposed to have droids roaming around. We were supposed to have aliens around. You know, it was supposed to be aliens serving us in the cantinas.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was supposed to be complete immersion, and they
by having the cast, you know, and Disney's animatronic work is phenomenal. So it would not surprise me to have, you know, cast members in the back and then have the animatronic up front pulling the drinks, you know, as an alien or as a robot or something like that to give you that extra feeling.
Right. So there's so much that they could have given us that you know, like building a droid, it's a cool experience. It costs a lot. I think I'd rather see R2, you know, even BB-8, C-3PO roaming around the land. You know, like, how cool would that be?
I've run into R2 once, and I was blown away at that. I mean, because
yeah,
oh man,
yeah,
and he interacted and rolled around, and actually, I was like, "Hey, R2," and he
Mhm.
turned right at me and started beeping at me.
right. And obviously the technology's there. You know,
Yeah.
they've done it before. You've seen the droids. You know, when they had the Star Wars weekends and stuff like that. So, come on, like, give us that.
You almost feel like it might have been rushed, huh? Like they could have taken a little bit longer to set it.
Yes and no. Like they cut all that out, kind of early on
Yeah.
us. So it's like, they were it was budget cuts. I mean, they were trying to save money. And, when you are theming a land the way that they did with Galaxy's Edge, that's a lot of money. I get that. But Sebastian also sent me an article not too long ago. Oh crap, Sebastian, you're going to have to help me. A WAPA? Am I saying that right? No. What is? That's going to drive me crazy. Dadgummit. He'll. So there's like a 30 to 45-second delay from what they're hearing. Gosh, then that's going to drive me nuts. I've got to find this. So it has been reported that Disney is working on some meet and greets. Wampa, yes. So a Wampa and a Hulk meet and greet, which would be amazing.
Because the Wampas are what the big, almost like tusk,
right?
Like just furry mammoth looking
Yes,
creatures. Okay,
yes, from Hoth, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be incredible. If what was? Oh, was it George?
Yeah,
I was
sorry
like,
about that.
what was that?
Well, they actually had it wasn't quite a meet and greet, but the little raiders that were on Tatooine that took 3CPO and sold them to Luke originally.
the Ewok?
No, not
No,
Ewoks.
no. I know what you're talking about.
The
Yep.
little, yeah, I mean they were actually in the Star Wars oh yes,
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Yes.
They were in the Star Wars area at one point in time, and they were really cool because they in character. I mean, they're looking around you like, "Hey, what is this?" And they're picking at you and they're poking at you, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, oh, yeah." And they're kind of mumbling stuff to each other that you don't understand. But I mean, I have if I can find the pictures, I'll send them to you. But they are incredible. They're shorter people, so
Right.
But it was super neat to be able to interact with them.
Yeah. But why don't we have that? Like they missed the mark with all that.
Yeah.
Galaxy's Edge could have been so much better. Have you had a Ronto roaster in Galaxy's Edge?
If I don't get one when I go, I failed at a trip.
Yes. And so we've only done the launch ones. Sebastian says Disney Imagineers built a walking Groot for the parks in Project Kiwi. I just saw that in that article too. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude. So cool. Like, could you imagine that? Like, just be walking around. If my buttons would work, that would be fantastic. But if you're just walking around and then all of a sudden, oh my goodness, did I not load it? I didn't load it. I had I am Groot.
Was that almost like the tree people in Animal Kingdom, the tree ladies that are
Yes.
those are very amusing. Sorry.
It left my brain.
Can you imagine a walking Groot?
What her name is?
Oh
yeah.
Now that's going to bug you today too.
You're
welcome.
Divine. There we go. Divine. I can't believe I didn't put that back on there. Oh my goodness, that bothers me. Anyways, let's get back on track here. So we've kind of went all over, but we hadn't really talked about, like, we've talked about Galaxy's Edge. But we haven't talked too much about the parks. So do you want to dive into parks? Where do you want to go with this?
I mean, I'm open for anything. And I meet people who are passionate about Disney.
Yeah.
Right. So it is fantastic, which is how we met. Once we started talking Disney, Oh my gosh. Yes. Baby Groot. Yay. It was fantastic to be able to sit and talk to somebody and talk to somebody and talk to somebody and they know everything I'm talking about.
Yes.
Fantastic. So that being said, if I had to take a route, I would be very curious as to how you feel about attractions that are no longer there. And we can start with the newest. What do you think about Stitch's Great Escape being removed?
I would rather the alien
encounter.
The
alien encounter was amazing. Was
terrifying. Sebastian makes a great comment here. He said, "We can't have droids roaming the park. Takes a wall outlet and someone with a controller. If they can do Groot, we can have Jawas and Ewoks.
Jawas, that's the ones I ran into.
That would be amazing to see them walking around.
Yes.
We're not going to stay on topic. We're going to go wherever this takes us. Ewoks. So this is something that has had me wondering. I don't know if you've noticed. So on the My Disney Experience, when you pull up where when you pull up the map and you look at the Galactic Star Cruiser, which there is actually an Ewok. Hidden in a corner, which makes me wonder. You can see him hidden right there.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Are we going to have Ewoks at the Star Cruiser?
Oh my gosh!
Like, how cool would that be?
Oh, I mean, I have a stuffed Ewok at my house right now. I love Ewoks.
I used to love Ewoks when I was a kid, dude. I always played with Ewoks.
Yes.
Don't know why. Like, now that I'm getting older, it's like, what was my fascination? But I still love them. I don't understand fascination still.
If you imagine it like this, you always think bears are great and cuddly and soft. It'd be great to have one. Now you can have one. It's not as dangerous.
Fair point. Fair point. All right. So, going back. So, Alien Encounter, Stitch's Great Escape. Dude, yeah, give me Alien Encounter all day.
I agree with that one. Alien Encounter.
What are they going to do with Stitch's Great Escape now, though?
It would not surprise me if they turn that into a character greet area in the current stage where you can meet Buzz and they have the
so that's pretty much what it's been, is where you can meet Stitch.
Yep.
But that's a wasted space for a meet and greet.
I agree. But you got to imagine if you take Alien Encounter in the space it was at, there's limited space to improve because of the attractions around it. Of what else can you make it?
Right.
So. I don't know. I've always enjoyed Alien Encounter more. Stitch's Great Escape was good for the kids, so it was definitely enjoyable for my little girl who just turned 8.
Right,
enjoyed it last year. She's like, yeah, not last year, they were closed, so the time we went before that. But yeah, so just attractions like that. So that one is the least of the ones that hit my mind. But the most recent one and this one just hits a special place in my heart. But that was a change that I'm sure a lot of people like, especially the younger generation.
You're about to go with a great movie ride.
That ride, absolutely. They put you in the middle of the greatest scenes of the greatest movies to ever. I mean, in the middle of Indiana Jones, in the middle of Aliens with Sigourney Weaver. You
get to go in the middle of Indiana Jones with a stunt spectacular.
You do. But there's just other ones. John Wayne movies. Most people don't even know who John Wayne is anymore. That's probably why. But and in my suggestion, I think that the new ride, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, is a fantastic ride. I just wish they would have put it somewhere else. I just wish they would have left the great movie ride and upgraded instead of being in the middle of a John Wayne movie. Put me in the middle of a Guardians of the Galaxy battle between, Ronan and the Guardians for a scene, and then roll me into the next scene where you're in Civil War at the, you could have updated it, kept it modern, but still put you in the heart of the greatest scenes of movies like they did before.
Yeah. I don't know though, dude. I don't know. My only problem with Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is the animation of the new cartoons. It's kind of creepy. It's got like this real Tim Burton type feel to it.
Yes. Goofy looks rough to say the least. And he's my favorite character, so it's kind of upsetting.
Yeah. They really messed up Goofy. Really messed up Goofy.
Yeah.
So RMJ23 says, I'm going to Disney World in March for my 26th birthday. I was 5 the last time I went to Disney World. I plan on going on Buzz Lightyear, Winnie the Pooh. Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Buzz Lightyear, honestly, it's one of my faves. But we can get back to that in a minute. I really don't hate them changing the Great Movie Ride. Classic ride, don't get me wrong, but like you said, is outdated, right? They could have went with new scenes, but think about how limited they would have been versus what they had originally, right? Because they had those rights to those movies that weren't Disney movies. So you're looking at, could you even do a Marvel scene? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Would that? I don't know if that just applies to character. I don't know how that would work with Universal. So you'd be very limited, on that. I feel like they went the right direction, but the animation.
Yeah. If they would have kept the classic Mickey and
Right.
Minnie and Goofy animations,
Yeah.
for me, I probably wouldn't have no quarrel with it. But
Right.
Great Movie Ride is also something. I'm one of the few people on the planet who've been every year since he was born. So
Right.
it has a special place in my heart, especially since I know
Mhm.
the John Wayne movies. I know Sigourney Weaver and Aliens. I
Right.
know Indiana Jones. I know The Wizard of Oz.
Right.
So
Right. But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't hate them getting rid of the Great Movie Ride. That's been so. I'll get messages about it again. I get messages every time I say that. But that's just how I feel. This Mickey and Minnie's kind of it works, like you said, more for the kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's not a ton in Hollywood studios that works for the kids.
So that's a good turnaround for them.
Right. I mean, even 4 years old, Phoenix was able to do Slinky Dog. 3 years old, he wasn't. He can do Alien Swirling Saucers, Toy Story Mania. I'm trying to think, but other than that, there wasn't really anything in Hollywood studios for him to do as far as rides. So, it does make it kind of, and it makes it harder on parents too, right? So I don't hate that they went this route. I don't hate it at all.
I got you.
So
I have two more, or I guess three more, but two of them are together. But Captain EO and Pixar went back and forth.
I wasn't going to say it, Sarah, but you brought it up. She says, my husband and I affectionately refer to the Mickey animations, the new Mickey animation style as Crack Mickey.
I hate to say it, but I think Goofy's the supplier. I mean, as rough as Goofy looks.
Goofy's not the supplier. Goofy is the receiver. He's the user. he's the abuser in this one. I mean, come on, dude didn't even know that he lost a whole train,
He's in such a bad place right now. That's probably him after Max went to college.
She said it right there. She said it. Meth Goofy. Oh boy. Anyway, so
so the other attractions are Captain EO and Pixar shorts that went back and forth a little bit. And Captain EO, for a lot of people, might not know that Captain EO was before Pixar, and then it came back, which was, and that might have been a tribute to Michael Jackson passing away or whatnot.
Right.
But it was entertaining, especially at its time, and it was neat how they gave you a behind the scenes before you went in for Captain EO to show this is how we made this happen for y'all. So that was really neat. And I don't know what they're going to do with the space now, because I don't think they're doing either one of them now.
Where was it?
It's to the left of Figment.
I don't know what they've got going over there.
So, but that's an opportunity for another ride to go into Epcot, which would be really neat to see.
Well, and Ratatouille's opening up on the 1st to the public. You've got, dude, we hadn't even gotten to that part yet. My goodness. And we're an hour in. Wow, we're an hour in. But and then you've got Guardians coming there, which is going to be. I have really high hopes for that ride. Whenever it opens, they can do more over there in Epcot though, for real.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And when you imagine the front is Future World, it gives them the option to be pretty broad with whatever they decide to do with it.
Yeah.
So they're not restricted to a theme of an area like
Mhm.
Galaxy's Edge or Toy Story Land or anything like that. So,
Right. Yeah. So before we move any further, because we are an hour in, so we want to get to this before people start kind of falling out or anything. So let's talk about this thing that you want. Which
So do you want the full blown story?
I think we got to have the full blown story, right?
I guess. So I like to talk, so every detail comes out
Yeah.
when I do. So, people sign up for sweepstakes all the time, and
you never win.
Occasionally I get emails from D23, which is what this one came from,
Mhm.
saying, hey, sign up for our 50th anniversary sweepstakes.
Right.
I'm like, I'll go ahead.
Yeah.
Disney movie reward points also gave me a few more entries. So
Mhm.
I put in my entry, I put in 10 more. I was like, I'm not going to blow all my points. I'm not going to win anyhow.
Right.
So we'll do that. And that was in, I think, June or July is when the sweepstakes submission started. About it was actually the first week of August. I got an email from a company called Prize Logic, and I was super confused. But they told me you've won, and I'm like, well, this doesn't say Disney anywhere. There's
Right.
nothing that says Disney on this. It says Prize Logic, but I clicked down the email, and it wasn't like at QZW.
Right.
It just wasn't jumbled letters. So I was like, man, this might be legit. This is a real email address from somewhere. So I reach out to them and say, hey, who do I need to call to ask some questions about this? Because I'm not trying to give away personal information, give my identity away over a scam.
Right.
And they were like, well, we're all remote, so there's not really a number, but you can call. And if you need to verify us, you can check what's the Better Business Bureau. You can
Right.
check our name on the Better Business Bureau. And I was like, I'm still not buying it. So I called D23 up, and I'm like, hey, so here's the deal. I got this email saying I won y'all sweepstakes, and I am super sketch about this.
Right.
So what do I need to do to verify this? And they're like, well, forward that email to us. Here's the email. They gave it to me, their support line. And they got back to me the next day. I was like, that's it. You've won. And if the sweepstakes was for 6 days, 5 nights at a Disney Resort hotel with park hopper tickets, a $500 gift card, a gift basket when you get in the room, and then a media event is what's written in there and what they've relayed to me.
And airfare.
And airfare there and back, as long as you're within a certain distance of the area. So I living in Alabama, obviously I don't live in that distance. So plane tickets there too. And I'm like, this is fantastic. So along with that, I finally shout out to my wife. Amazing. Of course, I wanted to take her.
Right. You can only take one guest.
I can only take one guest. I wanted to take her.
And you chose me.
Next time.
I had to try.
She pushed that over to my father.
Yeah.
She's like, you should take your dad. He's been taking you since you were like born. So
Yeah.
I think you owe it to him.
Yeah.
Take him on the trip. So awesome. Thank you so much.
I hate you. Just kidding.
But I'm still blown away by it. And just to, I guess, kind of to wrap it up, you have these expectations. You're getting a free trip. They're going to give me the lowest budget,
Right.
This lowest budget, that, whatever here and there.
And all we know right now, because you've been trying to figure out what resort you're going to be in, because you want to try to make reservations as far as dinner, breakfast, whatever.
Yep.
All they've told you is the Magic Kingdom Resort.
Yes, which I was blown away with, because I know it's not going to be a Pop Century and All-Star Sports, All-Star Music. So I was like, oh man, a Magic Kingdom Resort.
Yeah.
They're hooking me up.
I mean, come on. I got fingers crossed for a bungalow for Poly Bungalow. Come on.
Yes.
I'll be driving down. Hey, dude, we're going to crash on your deck tonight.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah. That is awesome. But what you gave us there, that's all the information they've given you so far.
Yeah, so I've been emailing them back and forth to try and get more out of them, but so far they're handling the tickets for me. I haven't really requested or anything like that. And of course, it's for the 50th anniversary. So they went ahead and told me you were going to Magic Kingdom on the 1st for the 50th anniversary.
Yeah, obviously. So
they booked that for me. In one of the emails, they said there's a media event. When I know the date and time, I'll let you know. So question mark. I don't know. This is new to me, but I'm excited. I'm like, So I have all of that going on, and at the same time, we're trying to get all this done, and I haven't been able to take my father to some of these things. He hasn't seen him in a while, and
yeah, he's never been to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
Has he seen Toy Story Land, Pandora?
He's seen Pandora,
Okay.
but he hasn't seen Galaxy's Edge. He hasn't seen Toy Story Land, and I mean, he is Ratatouille's opening. I'm excited. I get to ride it on the day it opens.
Yeah,
That's
right.
exciting news for me.
Right.
So,
yeah,
but super blessed. I am of all the magic I've been provided with in my whole life so far. I mean, Disney has probably got a top 3 out of the top 10 moments,
dude. And yeah, that is so much better than getting a pin for losing a tooth. I was, for those of you listening, I was telling him the story about Jameson and Tooth Fairy and all that earlier that y'all heard last year. But yeah, the part that really blows me away. So, and I gotta reiterate this. So we just met last week.
Yep.
Yeah, last week, and he didn't tell me this the first time we talked. It was like the second or third time. You're like, "Hey, by the way, did I tell you I won the 50th sweepstakes?" And I was like, "No way!" Like, this guy's full of it. Like, come on, there's no way. Get out of here, dude. So what in the world what is Sebastian saying? He said, "You've been selected as the host body for Walt's."
I'm all right. I'm all right with it.
Yeah, it's my neighbor. And so, but yeah, I really, I was like, is this real? Like, because like winning something like that, like, would be more believable than I just met a guy that we've been living down the road from for a year and a half, never met him, just met him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a huge Disney fan. I won the 50th sweepstakes." Like, wait a minute, what is going on here? But yeah, dude, that's super exciting.
I'm still, and it's crazy. It's funny because August 1st is when they first reached out to me to say I've won.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is now September 19th, and I still don't have all my details. So, and as you know, since you love Disney, you've been a lot.
Yeah.
We plan these trips out like 16 months in advance.
Right.
And even if it's not a financial thing or anything like that, you want to have the plans as soon as you can make them.
And
so
you have nothing.
Yeah, I've never had anxiety before in my life, but I'm so ready to start making plans. It's killing me.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I know when I'm flying down there. I know when I'm flying home.
And I know the first 4 days of what I'm doing in the parks. After that, I don't know.
Oh, you know that much?
Yes.
Okay.
They have told me, on the 28th, so this trip, since it's for the 50th anniversary, it's for the 28th through the 3rd.
Okay.
So on the 28th, they gave me, since they are park hoppers, they gave me the options of Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios. And then for the 29th, it's Epcot, Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
And then for the 30th, it's Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom again. And then for the 1st, they told me Magic Kingdom. That's all we signed you up for.
All
That's
day,
what you're doing. Yeah. So, so the last 2 days, I don't know what's going on with it yet. I still don't know my resort. So,
dude, that's giving me anxiety. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's giving me anxiety. It's like, how do you not know? Like, come on, Disney, what are you doing? Get your crap together. Get him his information. Like, oh man, yeah. So, and then you come back on the 3rd.
Mm-hmm.
Can we get you back that next week?
I don't see it being a problem. Yeah, sit down with you. To go over it again, because I am sure I'm going to have a lot to talk about with it being the 50th anniversary. And I listened to your podcast the other day. You were talking about the 50th anniversary and how much improved the 25th anniversary castle needed to look. It was struggling. I even as a kid was like, "What's going on with this?
Yeah,
like, I don't get it."
That was my first trip.
But this one looks gorgeous. So
dude, it's so gorgeous. Yeah, it's so gorgeous. I feel like they missed the mark on the little 50 medallion right there in the middle. But, whatever. They can miss a mark here and there, I guess.
They're allowed to be human, I guess.
It's hard to accept, honestly. I don't like it. But anyways, and so when we told you we had a podcast, You went all the way back. You started at 1?
Yep.
God bless you.
Every year since I was born.
No, like when the podcast, you went back to episode 1.
Oh, yes,
Right,
yes.
yeah.
When listening to y'all's podcast? Yes. I started
Dude.
I started at episode 1, and I think I'm on episode 17 now. I have a 45-minute commute to work, so
Cringy, man. They're cringy.
they get better as they go.
They do. Sebastian says it's a ritual. They can't tell him beforehand. They got to lure him.
Hey, my only request is that they don't tease me with this trip and then do the ritual the first night. Like, let me live the trip, and then you know what? You can end it. I cannot be upset leaving this planet on the happiest place on earth.
Now, Mom, come on. Mom says maybe they'll put him in the castle room.
That technically would be a Magic Kingdom resort, wouldn't it? And the only way to get in is the sweepstakes. That is the only way that y'all get me excited. Y'all need to stop.
Dude.
I would have a full-blown meltdown.
Dude. Oh my God. Dude.
I'll send you a Snapchat right away. Be like, this is the road.
Oh my goodness. You're going to have to blow me up with videos and pictures.
Yeah, maybe that's why they have my park reservations, but they can't give me a hotel yet.
Maybe.
They finna pick me up at the airport and be like, "Have we got something for you, my man?"
Or maybe they're just waiting to see what they have left available.
Oh, that could be it too.
They're like, hey, we want to sell as many as we can. So if the Contemporary sells out, let's look at the Grand. No, it's sold out. We've got one open in the basement of the Poly. Here we go.
Well, but at the same time, I don't know, because right now they're still not 100% capacity, so they should have rooms.
True. So it's all so confusing. Like, come on, Disney, get your stuff together. Let's get the man his information.
Yeah, I will scream like a little girl if they walk me into that castle,
dude.
Like little girl.
Dude, that would be amazing. Wow.
I've lived a good life if this happens. If that happens, I can't ever be upset with anything in life ever.
Wow. If that happens, sorry, Dad, I might be taking you out. Like, I'm going to go down there and be like, I'm going to call Meth Goofy over and be like, hey, dude, you want a couple bucks, you know?
I can hook you up.
Oh, man. Dude, yeah, so that's going to be a fantastic trip. I'm super excited for you. That's going to be, yeah, that's going to be great. So, dude,
so many questions.
Yeah, so many questions, and I don't even know where to go now. So we were talking about attractions and all the ones that have went away. Tomorrowland seems to be one of the least favorite lands, right? So if we're in Magic Kingdom, what land are you not rushing to get to? Is it Tomorrowland? Is that?
Yeah, I can see Tomorrowland being that place for the simple reason that if you were walking through Tomorrowland, what's your one major attraction? Like, you go through everywhere else and you look at the Haunted Mansion in Liberty Square. That is one of Disney's most known attractions.
Right.
The Pirates of the Caribbean in Adventureland, Frontierland, the Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Right.
You know, each
Splash
one has
Mountain.
at least one that is straight, like, I know this ride.
Right.
But you really couldn't pick one out. But I guarantee you, I think that'll switch.
When Tron opens.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
They'll have
no
their
doubt.
major attraction, and everybody's like, that ride is awesome.
But here's another thing that, like, I mean, come on, the People Mover.
Oh, that's classic.
Dude, I mean, everybody knows the People Mover. Everybody loves the People Mover.
It'll be even prettier, too, if you ride it at night and Tron is rolling.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. The Speedway gets a lot of hate. What's your thoughts on it, though?
It's fantastic for kids, but if you're looking for thrill, it doesn't go fast enough. But of course, it's not designed for that either.
Dude, have you ridden it with a kid driving?
Bloop, bloop.
That is a thrill. That is definitely a thrill. But and you forgot about Space Mountain too, though.
Yeah, no. Oh gosh, that's true. I did forget about that. I don't know. I just if I had to. Actually, It's funny you bring it up. And now that I'm really breaking it down, looking at all the attractions everywhere, Futureland's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, Tomorrowland is amazing. It's got a lot of people love Space Mountain. I hate Space Mountain. Same reasons I hate Dinosaur, right?
They're one of their older roller coasters.
Yeah, I mean, I need a chiropractor waiting on me when I get off the ride, you know. But I love the Speedway, you know, and especially when the first time boys got to ride it, the look on their faces, you know, like they were, like it's those memories for me, more so than the ride itself.
I can understand that.
Buzz Lightyear is
amazing,
incredible. Mm-hmm. Come on, let's be honest. Sarah, yeah, I feel bad for her. Her leg's not long enough, so she's not able to block the boys from the joystick. So when she rides it with one of the boys, the whole time she's just spinning. The whole time,
you're like, I'm opening up here, and nobody's spinning this.
Oh yeah, I just scoot on over, and I'm like, you ain't getting your hands on that joystick. You can shoot, and that's it. Sebastian says Tron would be better if the canopy covered the whole of Tomorrowland, and the coaster went through and over the roofs of the whole area. That would be amazing.
That'd be a monstrous ride.
That would shut down the entire land while they were working on it, though.
Hey, you know, I say this, what I think would be pretty epic to follow up with that, Sebastian. I think it would be awesome if they cut a hole in Space Mountain to where the Tron coaster, you have that blue light just zips in and zips out.
Dude, that would be crazy.
You don't even see it. I can't really tell what it is because it's going so fast. But if you just have a little in and out real quick, people would be like, yo.
Yeah, that would be really cool. That would be awesome. But no, like Tomorrowland's, it's so good. Like people hate on it. They're like, oh, the smell of the Speedway. Like, I mean, you know, I grew up, you know, in Montford, which is just on the other side. Mm-hmm. You know, I grew up going to the racetrack all the time. Like that's just, you know, that's the smell, right? You know, that's the childhood for me.
I think the number one thing about it that makes it my favorite is the night atmosphere. The neon lights and the Astro Orbiter spinning in the sky and
it's another amazing ride.
Yeah.
Like people hate on the Astro Orbiter, and I'm like, dude, you got to ride it at sunset. Yes. Don't ride it during the day. Don't ride it at night. Ride it during sunset.
Absolutely. Or during fireworks.
Yes. Yeah. But like sunset, dude, you seen the sunset right behind the castle over Main Street, and it's like
that's what dreams are made of.
Dude, yeah, it's game changer for sure.
Yep.
And a lot of people, you know, they'll be like, dude, you were right. Like, I haven't ridden Astro Orbiter in years. We timed it. We went at sunset, and I can't wait to go back. Like, I'm mad that I stopped going. You know, that I never gave it a shot. But you know, it's the little things like that you gotta, you gotta stumble across or learn from somebody. But Tomorrowland is. The thing I hate the most about Tomorrowland is the music.
Yeah, it's almost outdated futuristic music.
Yes.
It's like, well, we've actually had an era now where people put that in their music.
Yeah. Yeah. So we need to update that one, Disney. But overall, I love Tomorrowland. A lot of people say it could go. They wouldn't be hurt. But.
And then, of course, the one that has a special place in everybody's heart, the Carousel of Progress.
Yes. Yes. You can't beat the Carousel of Progress. Come on. It is an amazing attraction.
God, it really is.
Welcome to Walt Disney's Carousel of Progress. Oh, you're in for a real treat.
You know, it doesn't get any better. There's a great big beautiful tomorrow.
Shining at the end of every day.
Sarah gets so mad because I'll sing that song all day long.
Me too.
After getting off the ride. She's like, would you just stop?
It's like Turtle Talk with Crush, but it's a great big beautiful tomorrow.
Yes.
I get off, I'm singing it all day.
and then she's like, you know what? Fine, let's go to Pirates. And you know. So I'm singing that all day long. She's like, oh my gosh, you don't stop. Like, can you just get the songs out of your head? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go get a Dole Whip. So yeah, it drives her crazy. She can't stand it. But what can I say?
I mean, there's actually on Spotify, there's a list of just Disney theme park or Disney attraction songs.
Yeah.
And I can listen to those all day.
Yeah.
all day long.
So a lot of times, like if I'm taking Jameson to school, if I make it home in time, I'll pull up a playlist on Apple Music that is all the attraction songs.
Yes.
And so and we make it a game, see how quick he can
Yep.
figure out what it is.
We do that on the way down every trip, but it's with Disney movies. We'll play the soundtracks and
Nice.
what movies is
Do,
from.
do y'all drive or fly?
We drive almost all the time, but occasionally we're like,
So we drive too, right? I mean, I drive a truck, right? Like that's nothing of a drive for me.
Yep.
But we always leave out in the middle of the night. So we leave the house about 11 o'clock. We usually we'll leave the house at 11. Usually, actually get on the road about midnight because we'll go over to Walmart to that ice thing. We'll fill up the cooler with ice and everything. Then we'll realize, oh crap, we forgot the boys' shoes or something like that, right? So we'll have to go back home and get whatever we forgot, and we'll take off and we're down there, go eat Chef Mickey's for breakfast or something. So, top restaurant.
So that is extremely tough.
It's impossible.
As long as I've been going, I've hit a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, the toughest one to make was Le Cellar in Canada. Toughest reservation I have ever had to receive.
Yeah,
it was absolutely difficult to try and pull teeth to get that, and it actually took 3 trips later. Like finally we got it. But there's so many different themes, there's so many different character experiences, there's so many different foods. Oh my gosh, the luau's food is amazing. If I had to choose one over the best, over the rest, that would be my absolute favorite.
Let's do this. Let's go in parks and then in resorts. Will that make it easier?
I think so. Yes. So and it's funny I bring this one up in resorts. I'm gonna do that one first because y'all have recently had a conversation about it, and some people are hit and miss about it, but Chef Mickey's. It's hit and miss for some, but for me, and I've had it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And I've also had it in the middle time frame where breakfast rolls into lunch. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I still get all the awesome cheese grits that they have and still get awesome this. And every experience I've ever had there, and some people are like, well, it's just like a Golden Corral or something like that, where you're just rolling through and you're doing your buffet. Every experience I've ever had there, if I'm eating grits, this is not a buffet grits that I'm eating. So fortunately for me, and it's not like that for everybody, but fortunately for me, I've never had a bad experience with the food there. And then of course the character dining along with it, and the fact that the monorail runs through the hotel and everything, just love the atmosphere. And generally it's great because you eat breakfast and then you walk to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
So that was my absolute favorite.
So we don't do big breakfast on park days. Like that's a disaster for us. So we do like we'll do a Chef Mickey's like the day we get there, because we don't go to a park the day we get there. I've been driving all night. So we'll chill out at the resort, swim, go just ride the Skyline or whatever, right? But
typically that's not us either. We quick to go, and let's get to the fun.
So what about in the parks?
The Coral Reef.
Really?
Love it.
Really?
I'm from Louisiana, so seafood's kind of my thing.
Right.
Love seafood, and and the atmosphere of putting you in a giant fish tank is awesome.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy the Coral Reef because of that, and I think that restaurant goes over others for atmosphere, not food. I enjoy the food there, but the atmosphere is the reason I would put that as my number one favorite.
Have you been to Sanaa over in Animal Kingdom Lodge?
I have not been to that one.
Dude.
I have not been to that one.
So good. The lamb.
Falls off the bone?
Yes. It's a funny story, right? You say it like that. So like, I'd never had lamb before. This is the first time I ever getting it. And, he brings out this huge piece of meat, on this bone and all. And this is a nicer restaurant. It's not like Chef Mickey's or, anything, like it's kind of a, nice lighting, really cool place. So I wasn't about to just pick it up and start gnawing on it like a chicken leg. And I asked the guy, I was like, hey, can I get a knife? You sure you need one?
So you don't even need teeth.
Like, I mean, and he's like, well, pick up that bone. And I picked up the bone, and sure enough, just, I was like, huh, okay. Like, thanks.
Yes.
Oh, dude, it was so good. And then like, you know, you can, while you're waiting on your table, they've got the savannah out there. You get to check it out. They've got fire pits. You know, they've got the night vision goggles.
The luau was a really like a close second for me, and then the third one, we've actually been to. I forget the name of the one on top of the Contemporary, but we've caught that during fireworks at Magic Kingdom, so we were able to eat dinner on the balcony. Beautiful atmosphere up there too, but that is definitely caviar type stuff. That
right. Ohana for breakfast is probably one of my favorite.
Okay,
as far as resorts go too. Have you done it yet?
I have.
So yeah, I mean, really good food. I love how they bring it out in this, you know, huge skillet type thing. It is really good food. Great character meet and greets with Stitch and Lilo and Mickey. Don't know if they're still going to have them there because they've went with the whole Moana theme of the resort.
It wouldn't surprise me if they have two restaurants. They do one for one and one for the other.
It's possible.
Or keep the same place and just do switch up nights.
Yeah. I don't know because the Lilo and Stitch, they were great interactions.
Yeah.
But then like for me, like Chef Mickey's great place to really get the Fab Five knocked out, you know, and you don't have to worry about those long lines in parks and all that. You're done with them. Food, as far as Disney goes, you know, it's not that Disney quality for me. But the same for 1900 Park Fair. I wasn't overly impressed with the food.
But the atmosphere.
I mean, Anastasia, Drizella, the stepmother. Honestly, could have done without Cinderella and Prince Charming. Right?
Like, we don't need them.
Yeah, I mean, they were just, you know, like, oh, it's such a pleasure. You know, like, and it's like, you know, but then, you know, you got Drizella is like, are you a rodent or are you a spider? Because Phoenix was wearing Spider-Man shoes and Mickey Mouse shirt. And, you know, it's like stuff like that. It's an incredible experience. But going into the parks, Liberty Tree Tavern, dude.
Liberty Tree Tavern, and they have good seafood there too.
Really?
Yeah, I've had.
Do they have seafood?
They have fish. They have like a catfish.
Do they? No. Because
you're talking about right across from the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, so Liberty Tree Tavern, it has it. It's like the Thanksgiving style meal where they bring out the turkey and ham and mashed potatoes and green beans and mac and cheese.
I might be thinking of something else. I might be. I'm not sure, but I in that area, I thought I remember getting fish from somewhere before.
I don't know, but we can figure out.
Unless maybe we're thinking about the same place in different time periods, because I haven't eaten there in the past 10 years, probably. So
yeah, we can find out real quick. But yeah, I love eating there. The ooey gooey toffee cake. Oh, all right. So yeah, let's see. Roasted turkey breast, pot roast, oven roasted pork, mashed potatoes, veggies, herb stuffing, house made mac and cheese.
Yeah, so hungry already.
Dude, literally my stomach growled while I was reading that. And I was like, oh man. The ooey gooey toffee cake there, dude. Oh my gosh, I need some of that. I would say Sarah if you're listening, but I know she's not. Figure out how to make that. We have one of those Disney cookbook things.
I have one or two of them as well.
Yeah, we've done nothing from it.
They have one. They have a Disney cookbook with the Ronto wraps.
So I'm not a slaw guy, but the slaw on the Ronto wraps is amazing, and I'm too afraid that
you can't duplicate it,
right? and then it's going to be like, sorry, honey, you did all that work, and
but the slaw is not good.
Yeah, the slaw is slaw.
Well, kind of like, have you ever tried to recreate the blue milk?
No. Why would you try that?
We do.
Why?
We tried it.
Why?
And, I think the recipe had pineapple in it, and we did not get it fine enough. So we had chunks of pineapple in it. We were like,
Dude, why would you try to do the? I don't understand. Why would you even want to do the blue milk?
just for the? I enjoyed it.
I mean, I don't hate the green milk. The blue milk, horrible.
We've tried a whole bunch of stuff. Like we've recreated the gray stuff.
Nice.
Pretty much pudding.
It's delicious.
Yeah, pudding, Oreos, stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's delicious.
fantastic. But we tried the blue milk, and that was not. It was a themed party we were doing.
Okay.
That's the whole reason we tried it. We're like, well, let's try it. It'll be fun, something for everybody to drink and whatnot. So why
Right.
not? And
Wasn't-
that got thrown out. That didn't get.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, Disney struggles with making it. You know,
And those amateurs at home trying to make
one
it.
that I want to make is the pog juice. That is
Yes,
so.
because and it comes in a pog, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have one of those at the house too. Those are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great.
I need to look in that recipes book, see what's in there. I've never even looked in it. I don't know what's in there.
We need to have a Disney drink night.
That's what I was about to say. We really do.
Just so all kinds of Disney martinis, because I've seen like the Belle Martini, and like they have a set of princess martinis that I've seen online.
What?
Yeah, like there's a yellow martini that is for Belle, and then a green one for Tatiana, and then a blue one for Aurora, not Aurora, Cinderella, and then pink one for Aurora. So they have like a whole set list of drinks for Disney princesses, Disney characters.
Really?
Yes.
That's cool. I want to try that now. Dude. All right. So dude, we haven't talked about your favorite rides. We haven't. What else? Let's just go there. Rides.
Okay. Rides. So as an adult, as many times as I've been, I think we've had the conversation before that as an adult, there are nap rides
Yes.
to get that second wind as you keep going throughout the day.
You got Hall of Presidents.
Oh yes,
This is a
definitely the
great
Hall of
one.
Presidents.
Yes.
I love Muppets, but Muppets has turned into a nap ride for me. I've seen it a million times and it hasn't changed in 25 years,
Okay.
if not longer.
Yeah.
But I love that one. So outside of that, it's really difficult because I am a thrill seeker, so I do love roller coasters.
Okay.
I like a rock and roller coaster. I remember going one time and the park was so dead that after getting on it 3 times in a row, the cast member's like, "Are you going to ride again?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Go through that door." And they walked me off the exit straight to the beginning again. And I did it.
That's
I did it
awesome.
like 8 times straight and not had to worry about anybody.
Wow.
Yeah. So just
That's amazing.
yeah. So rock and roller coaster is one of my favorites. And if
Let's do your top 5 going from 5 to 1.
okay, 5 to 1. I think there's so many.
It's tough.
So I'm gonna do 5, but I don't know if I know I could do my number 1.
Okay.
My number 1 would be the Great Movie Ride.
No. It's not there. You can't do it.
Oh man,
It's not there. Whoa. How are you going to say I'm a thrill seeker? Great movie ride.
Yeah.
What is? Come on. What is that?
I know, but I just got that.
Oh, come on, man.
R.I.P. I just absolutely love that.
Come on.
So, okay, it's fine. It's not there, so we'll go with this. I can guarantee you the 3 of the biggest ones that you'll see in Magic Kingdom: the Haunted Mansion, Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Jungle Cruise. The old Jungle Cruise, though.
Okay.
Some of their jokes were extremely witty and questionable at times,
Yep.
but good jokes. They have tried to clean it up a little bit, be more politically correct and
Right.
whatnot at some of it. So, like for example, they got rid of Trader Sam's.
Right.
That made me
Exactly.
sad. Rip Trader Sam's as well. But the old one, oh my gosh, I laughed at those. I love dad jokes too myself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I tell the worst dad jokes,
Yeah.
like German sausage.
So, T Marie, who's on YouTube, she's in the Disney community. She did a TikTok earlier, where it was like things I never thought I'd say as a parent, and she showed a picture and she said, "Why is Goofy in a crock pot?" So kids had put, their stuffed Goofy in a crock pot. I said, "He's stewing." And then I followed it with, "I'm sorry for my horrible nature." And I actually,
kick me out.
freaking, I got a comment deleted by TikTok. So there's this girl, Ashley. She had posted a video. She's down there with some friends. They were dancing in front of the Tree of Life. She's wearing a Cruella shirt at Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And how did I word it? Because it was so punny, right?
Yes.
So I said, "Whoa, hold up. A Cruella shirt at the park that cares for animals? You dirty dog, you."
Teehee.
Yeah. Get deleted. TikTok deleted it, said it violated community guidelines. I tried to appeal it immediately after, and they're like, "Oh no, your deadline's expired." So I sent her that message. I sent her the picture of it on the Instagram. She's like, "Oh my gosh, I loved it."
Yes.
Yeah. But
yes.
Like, wow.
Those are the best ones. The funny ones.
Yeah. But they deleted it. But anyway, so where were we? So Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion.
There's so many good ones. Yeah. So my 3, 4, 5 would be Jungle Cruise, Haunted Mansion, and then the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
And of course, like I said, I'm a thrill seeker. So since I can't have the great movie ride, it's not there anymore. I think it would be Rock and Roller Coaster 2 and then Everest 1.
No tower.
I really like the tower. Like I said, I mean, 5 out of everything they have is tough.
No splash.
No splash. Rip.
No Big Thunder. I mean,
no Seven Dwarves. Yeah.
Let's talk about this. What's your thoughts on Seven Dwarfs?
I really like it. I don't think it's, to me, it's not really a big roller coaster.
It's super overrated.
Yeah, I think the thing that makes it so good for a lot of people is you talked about this on one of your podcasts already as well. Since the buckets swing, it is the smoothest thing you will ride at Disney World.
Right.
So if you want them some thrill and you have even the slightest bit of back pain, you can still ride that.
Right. But not if you're tall. If you're over 6 foot, your knees are going to be jammed. But I feel like it's extremely overrated. I mean, a lot of times it's at a 90+ minute wait, and it's like, dog, I'll wait 15.
Yeah. It is one of the few that has an interactive queue as well. Once you get closer to it,
it's true, but still,
yeah, I enjoy it a lot, but it probably wouldn't make my top 10.
Yeah,
it's good. I would of course put Splash Mountain in front of it and a slew of other rides.
And being a Star Wars guy, no Star Tours, no Rise, no Smuggler's Run. You ditched Toy Story Land completely.
I know, and those first 3 that I named that are my 3, 4, 5 are just a lot of them are just, it's more than nostalgia of as many times as I've been. I couldn't give them up. Like, if I had to say these are the 5 I'm riding the rest of my life, those 5 I would be happy with.
So let's play a little One Must Go. So you got to choose one. I'm going to give you 2 options. You got to choose one.
I have a rule before we do this.
This is my show. You don't say I have a rule. This is my show. What are you talking about? I have a rule. What? One must go. And you got to choose one that goes away forever. Never to return. Can't be rethemed. The whole ride is completely wiped off the map. Pirates of the Caribbean or Jungle Cruise. Come on, that one's not hard.
Jungle Cruise got to go.
Yeah. That one wasn't too hard.
Okay, yeah. My one rule was you can't use one of Disney's classics, like Carousel of Progress. Like, that can't go.
Come on.
That can't. Nobody. Disney himself couldn't even remember.
Carousel of Progress or It's a Small World?
Oh, if you got to choose, It's a Small World. Got to go. I would choose Carousel of Progress to keep forever.
Let's see. Haunted Mansion. Haunted Mansion or the Tiki Room.
Tiki Room's got to go.
Dude.
Tiki Room's really good. And I'm glad they took the 2 birds out of it and changed it back to the way it used to be.
I love that story. So they didn't actually take them out, right?
They just kept them where they were.
Well, no, it caught on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Under new management, it caught on fire, which is just...
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like the character in the movies. The parrot from the Too Far
Yazoo
Spirit.
and Yaga.
Yeah, Iago's the one.
Yeah.
The voice.
Yeah,
It's
Gilbert
cringy.
Godfrey.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was glad they changed it back to what they used to have.
Yeah, Tiki Room's great.
Love the Tiki
It's
Room.
great. Yeah, so great.
Oh, and it's one where if it's hot outside, oh man, Tiki Room feels so good.
Did you know Tiki Room was the first attraction in Disneyland to have air conditioning?
Ah,
Yeah.
That's fun. I didn't know that.
Yep. They had to. All the computers and everything.
It would fry.
They would have caught on fire.
Under new management.
Yeah, exactly. It was the first one that had did that whole story about the Tiki Room and them doing it. It's so crazy. He was inspired by it when he's down in New Orleans.
Yep.
So a little throwback to Louisiana there. Cricket Fox, good morning from down under. She's joining us from Australia. Brad says, has the fight started yet? What fight? Oh no, I don't think there's going to be a fight in this one. I don't think he's referring, like you said last week, the whole Chapek versus Iger clip. Did I send that to you? Did you see it? Oh gosh, I'll show you after the show. Chase, our buddy that was with us, he got conned into doing. I mean, completely spur of the moment. Somebody said, "You look like you're ready to commentate a UFC fight," because he was like sitting back here and had the headphones and the handheld mic.
Yes,
yeah, it was so funny, so funny. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, Tiki Room though, man. Honestly, as far as the Walt classics, knowing what they went through,
yeah.
I mean, they had to get a chip from NASA for the birds. You know, like it's pretty crazy. Like it has a chip from a missile.
and I love when you hear things like that is Disney proving that nobody can stop your dreams.
Yeah.
That's what he's about. And I just love when you hear things like that, you're like, that's typical Disney.
Yeah.
There was no boundaries.
Yeah.
That's the limit.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, and he didn't care about the money. That was Roy's job.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I get this idea. Well, we don't have the money. Go find it. That is what I pay you for. But we don't have the money for that either.
Right.
Oh man, so good. I love Walt biographies and all. Because he truly was an incredible person. Just genius. Just was going to make it happen.
Yep.
So
and people ask each other questions all the time about, who would be, one person, life or death, whatever, aside from family, Walt would be the person I would want to sit down with and talk to.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't know if I don't believe he saw it as a business, but I want to see how he is as a human being. Just talk with him. Like, hey man, that.
Here's a fun question. Walt comes back for one day. Would you want to take him on a tour of Walt Disney World? Show him what it's become and everything? Would you want him to take you through Disneyland?
This is probably a terrible answer, but I want him to take me through Disneyland because I have a feeling that some of the things they have done to Disney World would hurt his feelings.
It definitely would.
I would not want to put that pain on him.
Like
after
Epcot,
all the joy he's brought me in my life, I do
Right.
not want to be like, yeah, your experimental prototype city tomorrow looks like this. He'd be like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
This is nothing for what I envisioned.
Cricket said that her hubby wanted to honeymoon at Disney World. So they did.
Yeah, so did I.
She said, I'm selfish. I want both. That's awesome. I love that. Love that. Yeah. I think it would be really cool to do Disney World because while you could show him, the Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Pirates. Jungle Cruise. Carousel of Progress.
Well,
that's the only Carousel of Progress. So he, he would get to see, all these things that
did come to life.
Was really involved in, and and see how it, because he knows how a lot of them worked out in Disneyland. Not the Haunted Mansion, obviously, but I think it'd be really cool just to hear his stories.
Yeah.
On how it's different from what he wanted it, like, or things that he's like, yeah, I wanted to do it this way, but we couldn't make it work, like, I don't know.
I mean, I would actually really love the opportunity to, say God gave me an hour with him. Be like, all right, well, I'm going to talk with you for 30 minutes, pick your brain. And for the other 30 minutes, I'm going to need you to write down more of your ideas so we can incorporate this.
Right. Right. And no, so it'd be 20 minutes, pick your brain, 30 minutes to, you write down all of your ideas. And then the remainder 10 is, we got to change the whole CEO situation. That way we can make all of these ideas happen.
Yeah.
Like, can we get Roy back also, please, to find the money? Because Budget Bob ain't cutting it. Oh man. But yeah. Dude, I can't believe no tower. I'm still hung up on that.
Now I love the Tower of Terror. I love it. But also as young as I am not big into today's music. I think a lot of today's music is kind of trashy.
100% agree.
I do love Aerosmith. Aerosmith is probably one of my top 5 favorite bands too. So that could be a bias that puts Aerosmith over some other things there.
Right.
Everest goes over that because of the theme. I mean,
yeah,
with the Yeti and all that, that's fantastic. And then the queue, looking at all the culture as you go through it, you're like, okay, this is awesome.
Yeah. No, it really is. It is. And Jameson loves Everest too. We all love. Who doesn't love Everest?
My 7-year-old's written everything now, and Everest and Rock and Roller, anything that will get her butterflies going.
Yeah,
she's in. I love it. My favorite.
Jameson was just like a quarter of an inch too short when we went last September for a Rock and Roller Coaster. That was tough. But yeah, Tower, Everest, he's all about it. Yeah. Anyways, what have we not covered?
I mean, there's so much.
There's
so much.
We haven't talked anything about Run Disney.
So I was talking about attractions that are no longer there.
Yes.
And I saved what I thought was the best for last.
Okay.
And that was I think now, last I saw it was considered to be an event center.
Okay.
But it's to the left of Mission Space, to the right where Energy was regarding galaxies going up. If you walk back through there was 2 attractions in there. One was called Body Tours and one was called Cranium Command.
Yes.
Cranium Command to me was such a good experience. It compares to one of the newest movies they've had out recently. Inside Out.
Yes.
That's literally the concept.
Yeah.
They took a concept that they used 30 years ago in an attraction. It's like, we can make a movie out of this. Like, absolutely. So that one's one I'm really, along with a great movie ride, I'm really disappointed they got rid of.
Yeah.
Because Cranium Command was awesome.
Yeah. Cricket just had it. Would you ask Walt to sketch an original Mickey? Heck yes. Heck yes.
I'm not gonna lie. If something like that were to ever happen, I could probably fund a new Disney World with a signed autograph of the original.
Right.
Yeah, that would be. I probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how long does it take? If you could take 5, if you could do it in 5, could you?
Yeah, it shouldn't take them that long, right?
Yeah, and it easily better than what they have on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway Train for what Mickey looks like now.
Way better. The fact that they're not rolling out a new Halloween movie with these Mickey characters is disappointing.
Golden opportunity out the window.
Yeah, dude, that would be creepy.
Oh,
definitely be creepy.
Looking at Goofy does give me chills. He's my favorite character. That's disappointing.
Yeah. Gosh, yeah. But the ride is great. If you build it, he will come and fire Bob. That is great.
Yeah, we'll call it the Triple B. Bye, bye, bye.
Bye, bye, bye. Yes. Anyways, dude, yeah, we have so much more we could talk about. We're at an hour and 43 minutes.
I mean, there's so much. I mean, like collectibles over the years, or what? Of course, we've already talked about some attractions that are gone, some new ones that are coming, and whatnot. The ideas that they've come up with. I would like to spit out my bucket list goal. Everybody has a bucket list goal.
Okay.
All right. And I know from what I hear, all the Disney Worlds across the planet are not really associated. They
Mhm.
carry the name, but corporate in California has nothing to do with what Hong Kong's doing.
Mhm.
If that's, I think.
So the only one that Disney doesn't own is the one in China.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and they have two in China. They have a Shanghai and a Hong Kong.
Yes.
So my bucket list goal before, right when I officially retire, because my retirement goal is to move down to Disney. And I don't care if I'm 85 using a dustpan holding me up while I sweep in Disney World. That's where I want to be.
Right.
But my bucket list goal is to take one big trip, take about a month or two long, to visit every Disney in a row where they are. So, start off from where I'm at.
Yes.
Go to Orlando. And once I'm at Orlando, fly off to California, go see the California part for a couple of days, then go down to Honolulu, Hawaii, and spend a week at their resort down there. Then go to Japan, then go to the two, Hong Kong, Shanghai, and then go to France.
Yeah, Paris.
Yeah. And go to France and then come home. But I want to make it one big journey, not like, oh, we'll go to the France one in 2 years, or we'll go to the.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, that's my bucket list goal. I need to start saving now, probably.
You should have started saving about 100 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Because, dude, so I've actually, I've looked at prices for like Alani, right, in Hawaii. The prices for the resort, not that bad, honestly.
Yeah.
It's the $1,200 per person to fly one way to get there. That's tough.
But at the same time, if I'm doing a world trip, would that same price be for Japan? So if I'm flying backwards and I go to Paris and then to China and then to Japan, probably not going to pay $1,200 for there and back. It might be super cheap to fly to there from Japan.
Dude, you're going to be flying around the world. That's a lot further than.
No, I'm just saying if I take my trip backwards, I go to Paris first and then Hong Kong and Shanghai. And
Japan. But you're still going to be flying around the world. I mean, airfare either way.
The airfare around is going to be pretty. That might be more expensive than actually taking a trip to Disney. But that's my goal. I want to do that in one big trip to experience everything Mickey that I can in just one big Uber trip. Because, every park has something unique that other parks don't. Like Liberty Square in California is New Orleans Square. I mean, so I'm from the New Orleans area, so I probably won't be impressed with it. But it's just everything has one thing, one attraction. I mean, there's already the Tron roller coaster's been there for over a year in China. So it's
DCL Disney Cruise Line to Europe, says Garth. That's a brilliant idea.
They have an Alaskan one too.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
So, but that's my goal. I mean, who knows? There are actually cruise ships out there that go 1 month at a time. I might be able to get a Disney cruise ship to take me around the world to go to Disney. That'd be awesome.
I mean, why don't you just
add it to the list?
Just tell Disney, hey, I need y'all to make a sweepstakes so that I can win another sweepstakes. And
yes.
You're going to take me around to every park.
Yeah, and invent this one so I can win it. Yes, I'm in. I'm done.
And it's got to. I've got to be able to bring 6 guests. I want to bring my wife, daughter, and then our neighbors.
Yep, gotta come.
Dude, that would be insane.
It would be, but that's why it's a bucket list goal. I have a couple years to figure it out.
See, that's a bucket list dream. I don't know. That's a goal,
right?
No,
goals are running a marathon or something like that. It's
which you've done.
Yep.
Right.
I did the Dopey run.
Yeah.
Disney. Yep.
Did you get to do it at Disney or did you do the virtual? It wasn't virtual.
One? I did the real thing.
You did the real thing. Nice.
And for those of you who aren't big runners and probably won't experience the marathon portion of it, my favorite thing about it, because they're loaded with stuff. You get to run through the parks. I ran through some of the back lots of Animal Kingdom where you got to see where they took care of some of the animals and stuff. It was super awesome. But my favorite thing, and it was more of a magical moment than anything, is that I was on mile 23 of 26, and I was running over this bridge. It wasn't through a park. It was on the roads in between the parks. And there was one of Andy's army men was on the road. Move, Andy's coming. And I was like, yeah, I gotta go. And it really just hyped me up to finish that run out.
Awesome. That is awesome. I love how they will do that. They'll have characters,
Yes.
throughout and spread around. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Be Our Guest podcast,
I have not.
but Mike Rawlman, the host of it, is a big runner.
Okay.
So he does, most of the run Disney events and everything. And he always talks about, taking a break, grabbing a margarita, knocking out Everest,
Let me stop. Real quick.
Yeah. He's hitting up rides and all, and because he's not there to set up person, PR or nothing. He
I don't care to run this in 4.5 minute miles. I'm gonna. I'll take my time.
Yeah, I mean, you pay that much money, why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're not cheap. They're they cost. But you get solid, solid swag out of it, right? You get the nice medals and.
Dude, I've never been so juiced up with stuff from an event because I've done several outside of, but I mean, especially doing the dopey run.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I got 6 shirts because I got one for each of the 5K, 10K, half, whole marathon events, and then I got one for the goofy, and then one for the dopey.
Yeah. So, and for those of you who don't know, so this is marathon weekend. That's usually towards the end of January, right? Early to middle. And they so you have your 5K, you have your 10K, you have your half marathon, and you have your full marathon. Then you have the goofy challenge because you got to be goofy to do it. 5K, 10K, half, right? And then the dopey because you just got to be an idiot to do it. 5K, 10K, half, and full.
Yep.
And that's in a 4-day span.
Yep. 48.8 miles, 48.6, something like that. Lots of miles, maybe 46.8. I could be off, but it's a lot of running. And that one was a bucket list goal. I'm weird. I started my bucket list goals really early, but I told myself, I was like, I want to run a marathon before I'm done on this planet. And cause I just figured it'd be a cool achievement to have. Mm-hmm. Never do it again.
Never do it again.
If I could get up and run a marathon tomorrow, I'll go do another one.
Right.
But the amount of training I put into it was not worth it to me. I mean, I spent, I'm into college football. So I would spend training for this Disney marathon, the first 8 hours of my morning, slowly jogging down a country road where there's nothing there just to get my miles in because there's I'm running out of space to see stuff.
Right.
So, but it was absolutely and utterly exhausting, especially when you're training for like a half and a whole back to back. You can't just train for a marathon and expect to be able to run both in back to back days because your body's worn after doing the half as it is. Worth doing it though. Even if you're not doing the full dopey or something like that, worth going to Disney and doing a 5K or a 10K or something like that.
Getting that experience.
And some of my friends that I've talked to about it, would love to do it. They're like, oh, I really couldn't do something like that. Some people don't know that the pacing requirements is 16-minute miles.
Right.
A decent speed walk, most people can do 14, 15 minutes.
Right.
This gives you an extra minute. So, I mean, if you're just doing a 5K, it's doable.
Mm-hmm.
For most to just, let's just go get the experience for a 5K kind of thing. So
yeah. And our friends Amy and Dana at the Run Eat Drink podcast, they're back of the Packers, they call it. Right. So, they're not in it to win it or anything. They're proud back of the Packers. They do the Jeff Galloway walk run or walk run.
The pacing running.
Yeah. So, they're really, it's really cool to, listen to their stories and whatnot, but it's still throwing me off that we're ghosts. It's going to bother me. It's going to bother me. I don't understand how we're not in the picture when we're clearly in the picture. It's picking. Anyways. Yeah. So we have a lot more we can talk about. 2 hours in, I'm hungry. As soon as I said ooey gooey toffee cake, my stomach went.
Oh my God. Well, I've been trying to plan restaurants all trip for this 50th anniversary trip. So I've been looking at the pizzeria in Italy. I've been looking at different restaurants here and there. I'm like, oh gosh, we gotta go.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah, we can talk more about that off air. I'm trying to find the ending soundbite. There it is. Okay. I rearranged my board. So, I did it this morning and now I'm lost. I shouldn't have done that. It wasn't
out of the norm.
Smart idea. I was like, I'm going to group everything together. And now I don't know anything else. Go figure, right? So, before we head out, We've talked about Talks for the People.
Mhm.
You can find on YouTube, any of the podcast apps.
Mhm.
And you just started a new one on YouTube.
Yes.
Which is where I got that Goofy clip from.
Yes. And y'all are my inspiration. Between y'all and my brother-in-law and the current one I'm doing right now, I realized that Disney is something that, and just a quick backstory is, I took my in-laws to Disney for the first time in May this past year. And just to prove how much I can just talk about Disney, it's an 8.5 hour trip from we are down there. And
drive slow.
I had my father-in-law behind me. I couldn't really hit the pedal.
Come on, man.
But so 8.5 hour trip down there. We didn't have the radio on, so it was quiet. I wasn't talking over anything, but I talked that entire 8.5 hours down there. I lost my voice before we even got to parks. I lost my voice talking about Disney. Because we were just driving down there. I'm like, oh man, and there's this food and there's this food. And oh my gosh, the French bakery in France, when we go to Epcot's going to be great.
Right.
You're going to love seeing the Army Men when we go through, because they have a whole drum corps and all that, you know, when we go through Toy Story Land and you're Star Wars. And I just talked and we got down there. And that night I was like, yeah, it is tomorrow. We're going to.
Everybody's like, huh? I can't hear you.
So because of that, the inspiration of my enjoyment for Disney and us. I mean, honestly, you're like an old best friend.
Right.
We sat the first time we met and we talked for 2 hours, disappeared. And we're like, wow. And I just met this guy today. What's going on?
Well, and what's even funnier is we actually started at our neighbor's house over here. And she's like, okay, I'm going inside. Y'all have fun.
Yes. But because of that, I started my own called Disney Grown, since I grew up on Disney. But Disney Grown GDD, Goofy Disney Dad.
Yeah.
Because I've always been the goofy impression that I did while I was doing it and all that. So and it'll be similar to y'all. But I've realized, I was like, man, if I'm going to do anything, I enjoy talking about this so much. Why not talk about it and see if somebody cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Just turn it on and just talk. Yeah.
Yes. So, yep. Disney Grown GDD is what I'm trying to shoot for, and see if I can inspire people who have never been before to experience the magic, like me and James, because there's nothing like it on the planet.
There's really not. There's not. And you never know. I mean, there's crazy people out there that, you know, I mean, we're 2 hours in, we still got 7 people hanging out with us right here. So it's like, man,
troopers.
Y'all are troopers for sure. For sure. So go check them out. So Disney Grown GDD on YouTube. You can turn your comment section on, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, Sarah said to tell you that all of you doing Disney has helped us who are overseas to get through hard times with COVID. Thank you so much, Cricket. And the Cricket Manhattan Hour, Manhattan Cricket Hour, Manhattan Fox Hour. There we go. She does a podcast with Pearl Manhattan, so they have a really good thing going over there where they're growing as well. But yeah. I was just throwing out all the combinations until I finally figured it. It's been a long day, dude.
Yeah.
Boy, and it's hot in here. And I want some freaking ooey gooey toffee cake, dadgummit.
Yes.
So,
I'm just ready to get that turkey leg in my hand. I hold it like a double-handed battle axe.
You're a turkey leg guy too. See, a lot of people hate on the turkey legs. I'm like, dude, like what's more manlier than with I mean, you're walking around Disney World with a turkey leg. Like, come at me.
Yeah, like I've never felt so enjoyed to feel like a barbarian out in public.
Yes. Yes.
They taste so good.
So many people hate on it. I don't get it. So, anyways, dude, thanks for hanging out with me for 2 hours.
Absolutely.
And I know we're probably going to hang out more after we hit end, but that's fine.
You're going to want to know something after the 50th anniversary I get back.
Dude, yeah. Yeah. So I was looking, what was that, like the 10th, I think it is. October 10th will be that next Sunday. So the 3rd, you're actually coming back on a Sunday.
I'm coming back on
but
the 3rd,
you'll be away from your wife and daughter for a week and all that crap. I'm not going to get you in trouble. You
have to fight the boss over that one.
Yeah. So, I don't know. She might be like, no, please go.
Yeah.
That way you get all of this talking out. You get it over with, and then you can come.
Right.
That's what Sarah would do. I guarantee it.
Please.
All right. So for those of you that have hung out with us this whole time, wow, y'all are amazing. Garth, Cricket, I know Mom was in there. Sebastian, I know he's probably ninja watching still. Thank y'all so much. If you're listening to the podcast, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Mouse Here's a Magic Pod. Come hang out with us on Sunday evenings live in the chat. We have a lot of fun. It's nice weather out right now, so you know the YouTube's kind of dead. Brad from 8-Bit Vacations is still ninja watching. He does a lot of cool stuff. He just did Scarowinds over there in North Carolina, so he's got really good stuff going on his channel. Garth is coming on next week. We're going to talk. What's that place called? Avengers Campus. There we go.
Yes,
So,
I'll be looking forward to listening to that.
Oh, yeah. It's been a long day. I'm forgetting what things are called. So thank y'all so much. Follow us on socials. Mouse Here's a Magic Podcast everywhere. And for the missing Sarah, Steven, I'm James. We'll be talking to you real soon.
And so our journey comes to an end, but yours continues on. Grab hold of your dreams and make them come true. For you are the key to unlocking your own magic. Now go, let your dreams guide you. Reach out and find your happily ever